Welcome to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com. We got the player perspective. We got Drew Kelson. We got Jet Bush. Thanks for joining. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you head to InsideTexas.com. Use that first link in our description. Use that QR code at the top left. 50% off. All the best from Inside Texas, from On3, and from Rivals as well. Gentlemen, y'all are former NCAA student athletes, and I know y'all had to do some paperwork and go to classes and fill out online modules as a part of being participating in NCAA events. Been in the news lately. One thing we'll talk about is, some of the stuff that was just really some of the harsh and sometimes nonsensical restrictions y'all had, both Drew in your era and then Jet not too long ago. You were in the pre-NIL and post-NIL era, but also just in light of everything that we've been talking about with Brendan Sorsby. I've been mentioning this, but I kind of want to hear it from y'all's perspective, like just how far up, how far up y'all's ass was compliance about like y'all cannot place any bets ever. Who wants to take it?
I mean, it's far more accessible now than it ever was when I was playing. So, I mean, there was a few websites then back in my day, but we weren't doing that. Anybody I knew who was betting usually had a bookie or someone they knew, but it was never players. Like, I don't remember players actually doing any of that. We were too broke to bet. We were all hustling. We were trying to get money. We weren't trying to risk it. It was a little
I guess I lived in a little bit of a different era in terms of sports gambling, for sure. I was not, ever, and still not one. But it was obviously pressed pretty hard, I guess, during compliance. Like, compliance is just kind of just doing their job. But we definitely had a specific meeting about it, especially because the guy from Iowa State got banned or whatever. So, like, if we're going to put this into perspective about Sorsby, homeboy from Iowa State who got, is not allowed to play college football ever again for like a one bet or something. Like, that's totally nuts. And I guess they just needed more Iowa State judges, but it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I didn't really run in those circles. So, it was emphasized for sure. But in terms of like actually people doing it, I don't really know. And if they were, I'm pretty sure they would probably be close to their chest if they were. But it was, in terms of like the emphasis that was going on, like, it's like, people would be like, can we bet on other, obviously it's like you bet on basketball, like it has nothing to do, NBA, it's a professional organization, it has nothing to do with the NCAA. I forget if that's like legal, but I think it is now legal. I think you can like do NBA professional.
They tried, and then I think it got shot down.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well, I did know they tried, but like that, they always like clarify things like that because, so maybe some people like just didn't know that like maybe they're like, because it has no affiliation, because it's a professional organization. But I think the rule is like anything that's like an NCAA sport essentially. So like everything pretty much besides the UFC. And so that was all, so that was that. And I guess those are the rules.
Yeah.
You want to know the rules.
I always make the joke that like, if you wanted to, you could not bet on Indonesian ice hockey because there is an NCAA championship for ice hockey. Like, that's what it is. UFC is the kind of the outlet, I guess, if you really
really craving it that hard, then you can do that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the topic of the day in the week, obviously. But one of the things, Drew, you wanted to touch on is just how much, I guess, evolution is the right word when you think about what the NCAA has, put its microscope on when you were there, what some of the things that have changed drastically to where things that everybody would be like, no, you can't do this, can't do this is now a little bit more open. And maybe this isn't the right way to start it, but like there are some things that have always been, okay, hold on a second, like this doesn't work, more or less. And I think you may know what I'm getting at. You played a quarterback who suited up for Oklahoma in Rhett Bomar. And if y'all don't know that story, Rhett Bomar was the, I think in between Jason White and Sam Bradford, 5-star guy, worked at Big Red Sports and Imports, which is right off I-35 in Norman. And by worked, I mean just drew a paycheck for not doing anything. He got hit by the NCAA. I think he had to transfer to Sam Houston State, but Bob Stoops kicked him off the team. And now, we're in an era where all he's got to do is show up in a commercial and he's fine. He can work for Big Red Sports and Imports. That's one big change. And I just like telling that story. But what are some of the things that, maybe in your time just tracking college sports that you've noticed just have kind of gone almost 180 as far as how the NCAA looks at it?
What's crazy, dude, is that Rhett Bomar got caught up for that. And I still, to this day, wondered, how is it Bob Stoops didn't even know that was going on? I mean, because I know how it was in Austin. I mean, you couldn't get away with anything in Austin. I mean, at least if not for compliance. I remember even going on my first visit to Texas. I remember staying at the DoubleTree, and I'm going over, someone's like, hey, offering cookies at the DoubleTree. So, of course. And I had to ask, I guess someone stopped me from getting cookies because they wanted to confirm I could pick up the cookies. Like that's part of what the process was like. I mean, you had to sign off on all these different rules and understanding everything before you even went on your official visit or any visit. But yeah, man, it was the number of things we which was funny because they'd be on us for certain things, but there are certain things, sometimes you did show up to a place and you have a few drinks and everyone's hanging out and you leave and you realize, what, who paid for that? Like, you'd have things like that could happen, but it was the little things that just made you think. Like Terrell Pryor, remember Terrell Pryor?
Yeah, Tattoo Gate.
Got a tattoo, didn't have to pay for it or something, and it wasn't just Terrell Pryor who got axed. I mean, there was a whole regime change at Ohio State over that whole ordeal. So over a free tattoo, and now you have blatant evidence. It's not even disputed, of gambling. It's just what can the NCAA do, right? It doesn't seem like they can do anything.
I remember that. It's like, yeah, you can't really get rid of that physical evidence without a little bit of work done. And this kind of brings up a good point from Chris Bennett. Said he remembers a story Colt McCoy told a few years ago. He nearly got suspended by compliance for taking a picture with the owner of Rudy's Barbecue. And I think, Jet, that just kind of speaks to, in this pre-NIL era, I've been to, what's it called, Arbor Wash up on Guad, and then, you go to El Patio and all these different places, and you see the pictures with the players and stuff like that. And you even see like the signed jerseys and things like that, to where what Chris is talking about, even that type of picture was enough in the era when, sponsorship wasn't proper to raise alarm bells for compliance, to be like, oh, well, why is he going there? Did he get a free meal? Did he get a free car wash? Things like that.
Yeah, I mean, to see it go from, it definitely escalated like very quickly, for sure. Like, so it did, like, it kind of happened, and it was like, even when it happened, it was like, oh, it's just X so-and-so player, top 10 players are really getting paid, like in the entire country, not even on the team yet. So it was really just like, oh, here's some cool hats and stuff like that. And, like, we all kind of know that, like, other people were getting, like, other universities, because these kids would go on X trip and be like, I turned X down, money down or whatever. And like, Texas didn't even pay me on it. I just wanted to come here. And so it's not like, people know if you're in the game, you know what I'm talking about? It's not like, Saban doesn't have like a car dealership or something over there in Alabama. Like, whatever, every Georgia's kid's got like a Charger. It's a meme. You know what I mean? Everybody knows. So it's like, I don't really. And then SMU gets the death penalty. So it's just like, we can go as far back as that. So it's just like all over the place. And clearly there's no like actual outline for the whole entire thing, is what I guess I'm trying to say. And that even the Sorsby thing is like, you can they just pick and choose essentially what kind of works out best for them. So, I mean, there's hundreds of examples. I feel like we can just keep going on and on. Tattoo-gate, all the way back to the death penalty, all the way to currently, with cars and, so.
I mean, honestly, Reggie Bush had my dream deal. Like, he got in trouble for something, and I was like, you know what? This is actually what we all thought. If you're going to get away with anything or get in trouble for something, it's the car, the house, all the fixes.
All the cool stuff.
All the cool stuff. Not for trying to use a 5 free wings pluckers coupon. Like, that's why.
Before we keep going, got to show some love to our sponsor. That's David McClellan.
Big financial decisions don't have to feel overwhelming. There's someone who can guide you every step of the way. David McClellan is a fiduciary financial advisor with Forum Financial, and he's working closely with his clients as a true financial life coach, guiding every aspect of your financial journey with expertise and care. If his name sounds familiar, that's because David was a swimmer at Texas and a member of several national championship teams. Today, he channels that same championship mindset into helping people win with their finances. David specializes in financial planning, and he's contributed numerous articles to Kiplinger on the topic of retirement tax bombs. And right now, David is offering viewers a free intro consultation to assess your financial situation. Do not miss this chance to get personalized guidance from a trusted expert. To schedule your free consult, email David at dmcclellan@forumfinancial.com, or you can call him directly at 312-933-8823. The contact info is in the description.
See, I hadn't heard of Pastagate, but that just shows all the different things that, and Drew, I was telling you about this, like the cream cheese thing. Like, you could serve bagels, but cream cheese was an impermissible benefit. And it shows all the evolution of where the NCAA was obviously forced to go and how it handled things. Jet, you brought up something, and I remember in like the very, like, whatever day it was probably August 1st, 2021, where a lot of your teammates, basically they were posting something. It was like a come game with me or entity or something like that. I forget what it exactly was. But like, that was like the first little snippet, because it was like the first way to be like, okay, let's get the money, somehow straight to the players' hands for something as small as like spending an hour on Xbox with them. Yeah. And I feel like, did anybody understand at the time, maybe not like the collective aspect of it, because I think people knew what to do with that, but just that the formalizing of things like the Texas One Fund was tough to I guess forecast. But like, did anybody anticipate, I guess as an extreme example, but like a Lamborghini dealership being in agreement with your teammate, or like Red Bull and stuff like that? Did anybody see like these giant corporate entities and name brands being businesses that wanted to get involved with, people you knew in the locker room?
I think anybody, maybe Gen Z and below, probably knew to a certain extent, because you just look at the, amount of followers these people have and who these brands reach out to, who's taking like a lot of pictures of these pros in their runway. Can they get their brand on, like, just comparing it? Can they get their brand on them to their, 3 million followers, 500,000 plus followers? That's like a lot of outreach, and then that gets reposted by the NFL, ESPN, their university. You're talking, hundreds of millions of eyeballs, seeing this, and that's just really good PR, I feel like, at the end of the day. So, and it's cheaper to do that than advertise on a billboard and advertise on a, just regular TV commercial. I mean, you could just pay this kid 20, even though it seems like a lot, because we were getting nothing at one point, but if we're just paying this kid $25,000 from a business standpoint, and then we get, 100x views than we would have if we were to pay the same price on a billboard for a month, then it just seems like a good business decision at the end of the day.
That I remember just that summer from like the media perspective at like media days, and it was like, oh, what are you going to do with NIL? What are you thinking of? And, it was always can the state of Texas and its legislature catch up and pass something that looks similar to all these other states. Drew, when you got to watch, that advent, like I'm talking about, where it's like the come play video games with me thing, and in the very basic, like there were even some like pay per post, Jet, like you mentioned, like you could essentially Venmo somebody $50 to tweet whatever you wanted. And I know.
I mean, like essentially anything that you can say you use your image and likeness for, you can get paid for it. So whatever that even means, it's not even a tangible thing. It's intangible. So like it's pretty much just all upside. You know what I mean? Like you can basically just be like this guy gave me $500,000 to sign this one card because I'm that dude. You know,
you're on your phones anyway. You're on your phones anyway. Everyone in your generation, like you're on your phones, you're on TikTok, you're scrolling anyway.
Do you know how many? Yeah, like if Arch Manning did Cameo and every kid in Westlake, you don't think would ask for a Cameo on their birthday for like $10,000? Like you're out of your mind. Like that's nothing to West. These people. Like there's no way they do that so easily.
It's crazy.
No, man. Drew, anything else we missed out or you wanted to touch on this one?
No, not much else, man. This has been funny coming up with these, just kind of riding the wave of the off-season news cycle. I mean, we've been going from week to week, just whether it be recruiting, whether it be just some of the, there's a lot going on. But I know Jet and we've been doing live at 6:00 on Tuesdays, but we're going to go back to doing a recorded show, usually with Connor going back next week. That'll usually drop at noon on Wednesdays. So that's for the last few weeks, jumping on here live at 6:00. But hopefully you all can catch us next week as we do something with Connor with Homer, Texas Homer. So
it's going to be a lot more fun because at some point we're going to actually be talking football and off-season workouts, stuff like that, getting ready for the season, projecting the season, and we'll do all that over at Inside Texas. So make sure you come join us, 50% off. Use that promo code in our description. Use that QR code at the top left of the screen. 50% off. Can't wait to see everybody on Inside Texas. Gentlemen, thanks for letting me sit in with y'all for a couple weeks. Been a lot of fun. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next time on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com.